So here's what happened. I'm driving, just cruising on the freeway, going up a hill, crossing a bridge, over a river, and the truck just shuts off. It acts like it just ran out of fuel. I've got quarter tank on the gauge, so it's like, what is going on? I coast over the shoulder. I'm too big for the shoulder, so I'm partially in the lane. Keep trying to start it and won't start. Next thing I need to do is call for a tow truck. Tow truck shows up, and they were not sure if they were going to be able to handle the size of the rig. But luckily they were able to take me off the freeway to a gas station, drop me right at the pump, and was able to put some fuel in it, and it started right up. At that point I knew that there was something wrong with the fuel pickup. There's instances of the rubber foot disintegrating and then causing the pickup to be at the end of the tube, which was a couple inches off the bottom. This is going to be a fuel pickup repair. It's also the Harpoon mod. Go over the fuel tank removal for this tank. There's 2 bolts at the front that are up above the axle, and then at the back of the tank there's again 2 bolts just behind the trailer hitch. So the skid plate is the mounting device. So that's the mounting holes just in front of the trailer hitch for the rear of the tank, and those 2 bolts right there on the cross member just above the axle, those are the 2 front ones. As far as fuel lines go, don't need a special tool to release. So you've just got, if you can see it, this white portion right here. It presses down on the inside to release it, and then the fuel supply has a blue one, and you press that and it'll release. A single electrical connector, and it's just got the little tab right here that you press to get that released, and that's up here mounted on the frame rail behind the shock. So that's where the plug is for that. And this gap up over here, that's where the fuel fill and vent tube come out. So as far as all your connections go, you're just gonna remove the hose clamps here, the metal pipe for the filler comes here. This unscrews with 2 bolts from the fuel fill spout area. These 2 hose connectors, those come off. Then these will just bend up out of the way as they drop through the frame rail, and that's it. So what we've got now is the top. I've already cleaned it up. Like I said, just a few connections: the fuel gauge, fuel return, and fuel supply. What we're going to do is just use a mallet and just force this in a counterclockwise direction so we can rotate this ring and take it off. What I used is just this pry bar up against the edge of each of these tabs, and then just tapped the end with a mallet to get it to go. It'll take a while, but as you can see, it ends up unscrewing, and you can remove this. Make sure you go ahead and clean around this edge really good so you can get all the crap out of the way, so that way nothing else is dropping into the tank any more than necessary. Right. So yep, as you can see, the foot has come off of the tank. Alright, so that's the pickup assembly. And on this tube, there's actually supposed to be a metal foot. So this is the problem that I currently have. This pickup foot is supposed to be attached to the bottom of the pickup tube right there, but the one that I have is broken off down in the tank somewhere, so I gotta get that out of there. But the part number for this new foot is E5TZ9J306 Boy Adam. So that'll get you your new pickup foot with filter screen. So now I'm going to have to get in here, dig around, get all the pieces out so that I can replace and put this new one on the pickup. So I got two things I'm going to be doing. First thing, that was the actual pickup that broke off, well, disintegrated inside the tank. And so because of that, the fuel pickup was this right here. No filter, and it was what, another 4 inches off the bottom. So I ran out of fuel at a quarter tank, and you know, typically that's going to be the problem when you run out of fuel early, unless there's other major issues, but it just acted like it ran out of fuel. So this is the culprit right here. Another 4 inches in depth, probably another 10 gallons, right? So I'll be having to replace the foot and filter on the pipe. So now let's just go ahead and put the foot on here. Show you that. All right. So one of the other things that happens is the inlet and the air return. There's a pipe, the other end of this connector, that's probably about 6 inches long, and it goes in and it's to reduce foaming and backsplash up into the filler tube so that it will shut off before it overflows. So the Harpoon mod is actually taking PVC cutters, reaching in there and cutting it off as flush as you can with the inside, so that way you can actually fill up about another 4 gallons of fuel in the tank before it shuts off from the foaming. So when I already reached in there, this one won't need to be cut because it's only sticking out about 1 inch into the tank. But this one for the fill is still sticking in quite a bit. So Harpoon mod, it's just going to go in there and cut off that extra piece sticking out. So this is the piece that just came out. I'm actually going to show you how easy it is to cut. So this piece is the inside of this plastic connector right here that continues on into the tank. So it is just a piece of plastic, and so with this type of sprinkler ratcheting cutters, you can see how simple it is to cut through and bring that piece out. So now that this piece is cut off from the inside of the tank, according to everything I've read online, I'll be able to get another 4 gallons of fuel into the tank before I get it shut off. So foot's back on, Harpoon mod has been done. Now let's just install that back into the tank, clean everything back up. So we're going to put this, I'm going to show you what proper orientation is too. So you got the fuel float there. I'm going to get that in, get my foot in, and then you'll notice there's actually an arrow right here on the top, and that is going to face the left side of the tank, so where the pickup is. And then what we're going to do is just get that oriented, get the lock ring back on. I'm going to clean the threads so it'll go on a little bit smoother, and then tighten it up, and we're going to ready to be back in install. E5T7, I'm sorry, I'm not probably going to be able to get in there and see. Alright, okay, foremost,